Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Art and Tales, that literally hands-on stream, because all you guys can see are hands-on, you know, and we love
It's
it that
true.
way. I don't have to put on makeup. I don't have to, pretty myself after a hard day's work. I can just sit down and, you know,
Work.
and work.
I did put on makeup, so I misunderstood the stream.
Oh, dang, man. Well, you can always change your camera there.
Yeah.
So we have a special guest tonight. We have my super duper good friend, awesome, amazing podcaster, the Scuttlebutt Ro. How you
What's
doing, good
happening,
man?
everybody? Good to be here, Maria. Thanks for inviting me. I think I had a really bad day, so I think I need a little
Oh, this
chillaxing.
this is gonna be the stream, man. That I have been getting so many reviews on people who have been coming on the stream and saying, "Oh my gosh, I just needed this." And people have been bullying me to get an invite, like Tabitha,
Oh,
and yeah, she bullied me into giving her an invitation. So I
absolutely.
did, so yeah, we're gonna be just chillaxing tonight. I'm gonna be finishing up a couple things I have on the go. Ro has I told him behind the streams that he inspired me a few weeks back to do a few Star Wars bookmarks, original bookmarks. So we have the three of them here. I have another one that I'm actually using in a book. So I'm gonna. The stream has already seen me work on this one, but I didn't finish it, so I'm gonna finish it today. And then the Ahsoka Tano one hasn't been finished, the original one, so I got that in the works as well. So,
They're all really nice. And bookmarks are really great.
mhm.
I didn't draw this one, but this is a bookmark that I think I still owe somebody. Um,
Ooh la la!
that's a metallic bookmark. Nicole and I grabbed that from, was it
Ooh.
Joliet Star Wars Day? But I think I never sent this to Todd. Next time I see him, I think I'll see him in 2 weeks at C2E2. He won this really cool bookmark.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty, yeah.
yeah,
That is
it's
very pretty.
lovely. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I also got some bookmarks over on the Etsy store. For those of
Oh
you who
yeah.
don't know, I
I
got
gotta get
these.
me some.
I got these around here. There are three of them at the moment. There's the Ahsoka Tano one, the finished project, and then you have the Vader, and then I have Gwen Stacy here, the Marvel one. I sold the original one, and then I was able to get some bookmarks printed. So those are there. So yeah, we're gonna be doing, and I have the Spawn one here. But let's see who's in the chat tonight. Let's see here. Let's see, and it's the Great Dunedain, the heir of Gondor, who is here. I gotta do me some Lord of the Rings stuff. I haven't done anything. It's terrible of me. And then we have Tara Crystal is in the chat. What's up, Tara Crystal? Thank you so much. I'm using the bookmarks that Tara Crystal very graciously sent me from my Amazon wish list. And I do have somewhere. Yes. So he also sent me with somewhat of a scolding, but very, a, a lovely note. Some of these Bristol sketch cards, which I have been working on. This is the first one that I have worked on that he sent me. A nice Nightcrawler that is in the works. So yes, and then it's Tomby all the way from England, my great friend Tomby. Thank you so much for the shout out today, Tomby. I am at 339 subscribers. Thank you so much. I hope to get to 400 very soon. And then we have Nicole Marie, who is in the chat. Hello there. So
Woohoo!
awesome. Beautiful, beautiful.
Very
Uh,
nice. Love it. Love the chat.
yes, the chat is really awesome. Actually, it's a wonderful chat, and I do have very very steady, awesome people here.
Hmm.
Um, who always have my back. And they're always spurring me on. Like what I did today. I did something bold today.
Oh, I saw.
Yes.
Good luck
So
to you.
thank you. We'll see. Oh, and it's Logic Sparks, good evening, sir. Thank you so much for coming by. So this, I got inspired by this sketch. So this sketch is from, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but Rodolph, I think it is. But I added it in the tweet there. And because I loved the sketch itself, it's a light sketch, so it's not claimed, but apparently it's, it says it's his. I don't know for sure, but anyway, I found out that this guy, the one who sketched this, was actually works for Netflix. He works also for he worked on the project of the Prince of Egypt, Kung Fu Panda, and there was a last one. There was another big one that he worked on, El Dorado,
The animated.
The animated series, yeah, the animated film. So he worked on those projects. He's gone independent now. Or at least he lives in Paris. He's retired, somewhat retired. He does independent work. So I just kind of sent him a message on LinkedIn and saying, hey, you know what? I'm an aspiring artist. I would love to have you on my stream. My name is Maria. Thank you. So
Very nice.
So
and the one project that jumps out is Prince of Egypt. Is that the animated movie as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I've never seen that one. Have I seen
that?
It's a Moses one, right? I saw Joseph. I really like the one of Joseph.
Yeah.
I have not seen. Yeah, they're very good. So that's Mrs. Art to the Icky who's saying hello, Maria, Ro, and chat.
Hello.
No, she's married to the guys who has one of the nicest smiles on the internet that is acclaimed. So and she's a really good artist herself. My gosh, she sent. I was doing some. What is it? My gosh, my brain is all over the place. So Tabitha and I were doing some tutorials on how to draw dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we actually started with this one here. This guy right here, his name is Fred.
Oh, nice.
And then last week,
Fred the Dragon.
Fred the Dragon, yeah. Very, yeah. And then last week we finished the entire dragon. So that's Fred, the entire dragon. And then Mrs. Archer the Icky wasn't able to be on the stream, but she watched it afterwards and she made her own dragon out of that. And it was amazing. She sent it to me and I posted it on the tweets, on the Twitters.
Very nice.
Very cool, very amazing stuff. So and
so much talent in the chat.
Oh my gosh, yes. Whew. If you knew.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really, really good. It was really awesome. So she's an extraordinary artist, and I'm going to be having other guests also. So
very nice. Well, good luck to you, and hopefully he'll respond. That'll be a lot of fun.
That would be so amazing. That would be so amazing to have that's. I don't know. It's kind of like awe-inspiring because I probably
you should you should definitely try and just reach out to as many people as you can. I mean, there's nothing to lose.
It's true.
Just do it. Just do it, as Palpatine would say. But I think it's great that you're doing that, and you never know what will come from that. So I think it's definitely worth it.
I guess the fact that it's like I feel like that they're the Olympic gods. The Olympian gods are Olympic gods up there, and us mortals are like down here. It's like
yeah, you can. I guess you can start out saying that, but I think, again, they probably put on their pants the same way we do.
That is true. Unless they put on kilts, which I doubt.
That's true.
He lives in France, so I very much doubt he wears a kilt, but yes.
Always with the options, you, Maria.
Well, life is full of options. Choices. And we got, who else? Dead Man Walking 55 is in the chat. Thank you so much. He came by through Tomby's stream. Thank you so much, sir. And Nicole says, I wish I could draw. My talents are elsewhere. I stick to coloring. It's therapeutic. Actually, coloring is already an artistic talent, Nicole. So don't beat yourself up.
True.
Blending is not easy. Um, and in fact, I really take my time when I color. So forget it. Oh, and I think Nicole is the one who does the Red 5 reading.
She's our Red 5 reading girl.
There it is. I wanted to show her the book that I'm reading actually right now because I am really thrilled. It's not sci-fi, it's fantasy, but I know that a lot of people will enjoy it as much as I am. So it's just a little pamphlet here. I'm going to pull up the camera a little bit so that you can see. So it's called The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington.
Nice.
Right? It's just a small pamphlet there. And it's a trilogy. So I'm somewhere around here. And who's accompanying me right now is Darth Maul, actually.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, it's a really good book. I highly recommend it. For those who love like the wheel, I agree with what it says here. Those who love the Wheel of Time, this is a good option to read. Very, very good book. I've already asked for the other 2 books from the library. This one was given to me by a friend for Christmas, and she knows that I love books, and she got me that one that I wanted to read. So that was very sweet of her. Now I got to get the other 2, and we're good to go. Yeah.
It's nice to have friends that give you stuff.
I know, isn't it? It's so good.
You know, you're talking about blending, and one of the things that I really enjoy, I don't know why, is shading and blending, especially with some of these heavy charcoal pencils.
Oh, you're using charcoal pencils?
I think.
Kudos to that, huh? It's not easy.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're charcoal pencils. They're just.
Oh, they're just pencils.
Yeah, they've got a particular texture to them. Like some of them are thinner, some of them are.
So I don't know.
Here's the actual charcoal.
There it is. That's it. Well, I have one that is. You can actually get a pencil charcoal that I do have that doesn't, smudge your hand so much. But if you read it on the side, it should say H or HB or B or B2.
Yes, I'm using 4B.
That is okay. That's super soft. Yes, that is very, very soft.
And it's funny. I was getting prepared for the stream. I'll take a break from this drawing here, but I was showing Maria some of the other.
Oh, please show them. I'm going to put you on big, though.
So I did some of these in college. I don't remember a lot. Let me see if I can focus this a little better. There you go. But I started like writing like little stories, and I think I used an old Return of the Jedi Art of book that I copied some of the characters from. But I think some fans of the original trilogy might remember this guy. And some of the concept art from Star Wars by Ralph McQuarrie.
Nice.
And again, I just started just drawing some stuff and writing some text in the images here. I don't know if this is Leia or
that is
some other nondescript person. Then I have like little creatures doing some stuff on a planet. One of these little creatures gets shot.
My goodness.
Be kind to animals, please. Thank you. Some stormtroopers of some sort.
I gotta do me a stormtrooper on one of these sketch cards.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list as well.
Here's some other. Yeah, I found this book in storage because I realized that I was doing the stream tonight and I didn't have any actual like art paper. I didn't want to use just regular notebook paper, so I had to go look for it. Then I got a little romantic here. I don't know what that is. Oh, and I was telling you this is the story of how I arrived to this planet. written in my language, not Spanish.
No, I was gonna say that is Spanish, eh?
Yeah. But you know, it's funny. I had this. So I don't know if you can see. Like, I've got like my own little style of runes that I
Oh,
created back in the day, and I still kind of like. I mean, they almost look Korean, but they're not. Again, just more. I haven't seen these in a long time. The dream of getting abducted by a triangle UFO
oh,
has
of
always been
course,
prevalent.
of course. But that's like encounters of the third kind, all right?
Yes, yeah. What are these aliens called? The Greys?
I
Yeah,
assume so.
they're the Greys.
Touching it up after so many
Touching
years
so many years. And then just some dude looking out into the horizon.
with two sons.
Looks like a paperclip in the sky. No, it's like a shooting star.
Oh, okay.
Shooting star in the sky or something. I don't know what that guy is. And then if you guys are fans of Doctor Who, I guess I used to draw some Daleks
Very
and
nice.
a little what does that say? Stand by, I think we're landing now. Oh wait. Kulkache Tliquacha Mowilka.
Okay.
Security. TARDIS. All right, here are my cute little Star
Ewoks.
Wars Ewoks and Chewie and Boba Fett.
Ooh la
I think
la.
all of this I think I drew before a Mandalorian show ever came out. I was telling you I don't know what that is. Seems like a diagram of some sort.
Hmm,
But getting back into Doctor Who, this is a character named the Silence. Silence
nice.
will fall when the question is asked. And Nick, if you're in the chat, you obviously know who the Silence is, the most ancient question in the universe. Here's a closer look. He's wearing a tie, so he must be going to a job interview. I don't know what that is. Oh, I started drawing this. I think this one was last year.
Oh.
And then we're back to my Rancor. But yeah, always fun stuff. It's I posted a while back that I posted a Scott Walker, like a
Mm-hmm.
walker,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's from another book that I had, but I couldn't find that book. But it's I remember obviously when you're younger you have less responsibilities, and I remember drawing a lot, and just kind of relaxing and it's really nice. And obviously with some music and friends in the chat, it's even better.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And actually, Nicole says, "Bro, does that Ewok have a spear?"
You know, that particular Ewok did not have a spear. He was kind to me, unlike the other Ewok that poked me in the
Uh-oh.
eye with its spear.
Oh. Ooh.
That's
Ouch.
a long story. Nicole will tell you one day.
Well, we are in art and tales, so
Oh, that's true. So
recently.
if
Sorry.
Nicole was here, she would tell you that I picked her up one day and we were going to C2E2.
Mm-hmm.
She had a nice little Ewok costume,
Okay.
and we were walking,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
and she had I guess she had like Ewok ears that had like spears in them,
Oh.
and she's a little shorter than I, not by much, but I went to hug her, and
Uh-oh.
the spear just poked me in the eye.
Ouch.
It was not fun,
Okay,
but it was,
that'll do it.
that'll do it. But yeah, it's now we have this little joke where if I see an Ewok, I kind of make sure that there's no spears around.
It's a fun story. There you go. There you go, Nicole. Yeah.
It's a fun story. But yeah, we're gonna head on to C2E2 in about 2 weeks, I think.
Nice.
and we'll have some fun.
That sounds awesome, actually. That sounds really good.
Yeah, we always have good times with our Chicago peeps.
Well, I'll be going up to I'm gonna be going to Boston this June
Oh, nice.
for a nice 3 weeks. So I'm gonna meet up with friends. Um, I don't know who's in that area that I would love to meet, but
Yeah, that'd be cool. Who's in Boston? CJ is in Boston.
uh-huh.
I don't know who else is in Boston, but
Well, you got
I'm
me, but
yeah. It's always fun to meet internet friends,
oh yeah.
as long as as long as they're not psycho.
Oh yeah. And I can't very much vouch if I'm not psycho. Perhaps the chat can vouch for that, but I promise I'll be good.
It's funny. It's like, are you a serial killer? No. That's great because what are the chances of two serial killers being in this cat?
I kill cereal, but not a
Oh yeah.
serial killer.
What's
I
your
love
favorite cereal, Maria?
I like granola cereal type.
All right. Well, what's okay? Okay, that's very adult. But what's your favorite like
Child.
kids child cereal?
God, you got me on that one. Because we didn't have any at home because my brother is diabetic. So
Oh yeah,
so we really didn't have a chance to have like um
like that kind of stuff.
like
Yeah,
that kind of like tricks or Fruit Loops or Cheerios or any type. I
understandable.
um I guess I really liked the ones that I did like was like Rice Krispies because
Oh okay,
you
yeah.
were able to get that. Yeah. Oh, and I have to say the chocolate ones.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, Cocoa Puffs. So,
Yeah, my sons
loved
still
them.
eat those.
So good.
My favorite is Apple Jacks,
Apple Jacks. Okay.
and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but Captain Crunch.
I was going to say that, but I never tried it, so I can't really say if I like it or not. But I'm very curious as to trying it out.
It's Captain Crunch is one of those cereals that they're like little hard pillows, and
Ooh,
I know a lot of people don't like it, but they taste really good.
I like that stuff. I like the crunchy stuff. So that's why I guess I like those like granola oats types because it's crunchy.
Right.
I don't like my soggy cereal personally.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And at Megatron is in the house. Stunning Ember Megatron. I'm gonna be having him in a couple of weeks as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a recurring guest on this channel.
Very nice. It's nice to have recurring guests,
Oh yes.
somebody you can count on and say,
And
"Hey, man, what you
no,
doing?
no,
Come
no.
on by."
Yeah, well, he's kind of like Tabitha. He's like, I'm bored. Can I be on your stream? And I'm like,
Oh, there you go.
yes. So, well, yes, Nicole, Snap Crackle Pop. Now, unfortunately, I am becoming a Rice Krispie myself because I just Snap Crackle and Pop now. Um, every time that I get up from my desk, I stretch and then it's like
Oh,
crack or
you
snap
become
or
a snap or a crackle and a pop.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, whoa, I'm crispy today. I'm Alex Rice Krispies.
You're not that old.
Oh, let's just say yes. I know. We'll keep it at that. So, most cereals will wreck your blood sugar. It's so true, which is why we didn't have it at my house because my brother is diabetic.
That's true. It's true.
And Megatron says, "Don't listen to her. She keeps me chained up in the basement and only lets me on the stream when I've drawn enough pictures for her." And I'm still waiting for the Sailor Moon one. Actually, you promised me that one, Megatron. Don't fess up. You promised me that one. So I'm just waiting. And congrats for the new stream you started last night. Issue number 1.
Oh yeah, got together with Spencer. Spencer is a cool cat. But it's one of those things that I used to read comic books a lot in college and high school, and I
Mm-hmm.
still have all my boxes. But I've been wanting to do kind of like a little discussion on comic books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't collect them a lot because now I have a mortgage,
Yeah,
so
that'll do it as
that'll
well.
do it. But I pulled out some old comics and I asked Spencer. I'm like, oh, I remember Dark Visions, and he's like, yeah, I love that. So I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. So we did that. We're probably going to do it's a 5 book series. So we're gonna kind of cover all of it. That should be fun.
Cool. That sounds so fun. I never had access to comic books,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. I don't know why. It was never in my area, so so I never really read comic books.
Interesting.
Yeah, even though it's like I really liked comic books. I mean, and I loved the '90s series like the X-Men that they
Right.
put on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Loved those even so much that I really want to draw them now. Um,
Who's your favorite comic book character?
ooh, you caught me on that one. I have so many.
Yeah.
So the first one is going to be Gambit. I love
Okay.
Gambit,
Yeah.
and with him, obviously, Rogue.
Yes.
So I love those two. But then Nightcrawler has a really, really special place in my heart.
He's
Um,
got a great story.
yes, I know.
Really love Nightcrawler. Right.
Like
Logan. What's his name? Wagner.
Wagner, yeah.
Uh, what's his? That's his last name, isn't it?
Yes, but wait a minute. Oh, the chat can do it. What is the name of a Nightcrawler, please? Um, oh, the lovely Sherry is in the house. Hello there. Thank you so much for dropping by. We're working on some Star Wars here. I'm doing my Count Dooku. We are getting some a Sarlacc over there, which is it's pretty nice. Kurt, that's his name. Kurt
Kurt.
Wagner.
Kurt Wagner. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was raised German.
But he's got a really interesting story, and he's one of the most unique characters. Besides, being kind of like a blue demon,
Hmm.
appearance,
Hmm.
but just his faith, his
Yeah.
backstory is just so interesting. To be able to juxtapose someone that looks like that and have incredible faith
Hmm.
is just it's great.
I loved
It's
him. Yeah,
very different.
that's the thing. It's different, and I don't know. And the fact that he's like, not only that, because that really does resonate with me personally, but the fact that he's somewhat also of a trickster.
Yeah.
So that is also very intriguing because you would think that somebody with his um, upbringing, he wouldn't be that much of a trickster. He would be like so serious, and no, it's like he does give a little bit of joy in have that joy in life.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's very, very awesome. So yes, Nightcrawler has a very, very special place in my heart. I also like Beast. Um, so those are my favorite. Like those are like the X-Men, and then you have other ones. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
X-Men are I love the X-Men. I think growing up my favorite was Spider-Man.
yes, there you go. Spider-Man is also there.
And whenever I go on a stream, a new stream, and I talk about Spider-Man, I always have to tell the story of I was so into Spider-Man that obviously how Spider-Man got his powers. He
Yes.
was
Oh,
bitten by a radioactive spider,
oh no.
and I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go find I'm gonna
No.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have a spider bite me, a radioactive spider. So the only radioactivity that I had as a 9-year-old kid was
Uh-oh.
was a flashlight. So I took I captured a spider in the backyard. I put him in a jar, and I put a flashlight over him overnight. And I said, I'll just have this light irradiate the spider. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to take him out of the jar and I'm going to make him bite me.
Oh my gosh.
And I did. He bit me. I got a big welt. Um, Alas, though, no spider powers. So that that didn't happen, or so I think. But yeah, that's my story
Oh my gosh, Ro.
about trying to get spider powers.
Did your mother say anything about this?
You know what? She never knew. I don't think she ever knew.
Okay.
So I could, I could have fainted in some sort of anaphylactic shock, and she would have never have known.
This, thank goodness it wasn't anything like a Black Widow or like
Oh my
some.
God, yeah, that's true.
I've seen Black Widows in real life. While I was living in Mexico, there was like this big outbreak of Black Widows. Man, they're scary and they're ugly.
Yeah,
Oof.
they sure are.
Oh man. So, Nicole said, I missed this one here. It says, say, Maria, I didn't get into comic books until I was introduced to Free Comic Book Day about 9 years ago.
Oh,
So I knew there were comic books. It's just that they weren't accessible to me. So, and says, I grew up in a very small town. We didn't have any comic book shops around. Comic strips in the newspaper, like Garfield, Peanuts, Gang, etc., is what I knew until about 9 years ago.
yeah. So I've got a couple of Star Wars comic books from Mexico
Mm, okay.
that I happen to. I think somebody sent me a couple. But in Mexico, I used to when I was younger,
Hmm.
I had asthma and I flatlined twice. I pretty much died
Oh
twice
my
when I was a
gosh.
kid. And they brought me back, and I was in Mexico for quite a while because my mom didn't trust the doctors here, so we went back to Mexico where she grew up.
Hmm.
And where was I going with this story? Oh, and the biggest comic books back in the day in
Hmm.
the 70s in Mexico was a title called Caliman.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that, but
No, never heard of that one.
it's he was kind of like an Arab superhero or Indian superhero. I remember he wearing like almost like Arab headgear,
Okay. Like
which is
Lawrence of
interesting.
Arabia?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And I remember reading some of those comic books.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So, well, I lived in Mexico for about 2 years and a half, and that was back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Where in Mexico?
Guadalajara.
Oh my
Guadalajara,
God.
Guadalajara.
They say the most beautiful women come from Guadalajara.
And they go there as well. Yes.
Yes, that's true. And they lived there for 2 years.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
See what I did there?
Of course. And Tara Crystal says comic shops are so big now. Marvel, DC, anime, Magic, The Gathering, movies, role playing games, and so forth. It's true. I mean, I think the whole. I mean, I guess back in the day, to be a geek and to be a nerd and to be into comics was like
It was very niche.
yes. And it just reminds me that you have to be like cool kids like Saved by the Bell and not
Hmm.
be interested in those types of reading materials. But now it's like,
Now
dude,
everybody wants to be a nerd,
everybody wants to be a nerd. It's true.
which is a double-edged sword, I think.
You
I
think?
um I
Hmm.
always have this discussion with some buddies of mine. But it's I guess the more the merrier. It's a party when a
Oh
lot of
my gosh,
nerds
yeah.
get together.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I will admit it kind of sometimes it annoys me when I see people do, first time watching The Crow. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm like, really?
The Crow is such a classic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, at least they're watching it.
True. True. And not to sound like a gatekeeper, I guess, but it
Well,
annoys me. It annoys me for a little bit, and then I'm over it. You know.
I like that. I like that a lot. There was I was gonna say something. So here's a fun fact. Even though I was never around comic books, I was always interested because obviously the Saturday morning cartoons. But I've always been surrounded by people like in the real world that had absolutely no interest in anything like that in the different areas that I lived in, and I lived in I've lived in Canada, Mexico, Peru. I lived in Italy for a couple of years, and they were like, I think I met just like one person who was interested in the same like pop culture geek nerd stuff. And for some reason, I was just never around people. I was only surrounded by people on the internet like you that, that finally are like, oh my gosh, I can finally talk about this and I can like find people like resonate.
Right.
But it was so interesting because I just don't like no in the real world it's like no.
Yeah. Well, it's considered, like kids play. It's considered like child media, but I think that has changed over the years.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of serious stories that come out in comic books that I think it's just another medium, another way of telling, some of these stories.
Agreed.
And then, obviously science fiction has always kind of had a way about sharing stories that either change your lives or are able to kind of resonate with society in general, really. So, and then comic books is another way of doing that.
Well, here's another title for Nicole for science fiction, and maybe you would be interested in reading it. I tried to read it, but it's a little bit confusing. It's called The Children of Time, and it's written by Tchaikovsky, not the musician Tchaikovsky, not the one who did Swan Lake or the Nutcracker. No, this is Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Oh wow!
Called The Children of Time, full science fiction. And I just tossing it out there. Perhaps somebody will wait to read it. So
that's cool.
So
I wish I had more time to read and draw.
I know.
It's great stuff. And then obviously Nicole spearheading the Red 5 Reading Club. We on our last trip to C2E2, it's funny. We got to a place where they were actually giving away science fiction books.
Oh.
And it was really, really great. One here, I just happen to have this handy.
Nice.
It's I just love this cover. What the hell does this cover say to you? With the cat and then the astronauts and the UFO. I haven't gotten a chance to read this, but the cover intrigued me just because there's a cat head on the cover.
That is that is very random, like a cat head.
Right.
Yeah, but that makes it even more like, what is inside? Breed to Come.
Breed to Come by Andre Norton, and I think it looks like it's from
1980 something.
1972.
Oh, there. Whoa.
And are you familiar with Harlan Ellison?
No, I'm not. Let's see.
He's one of the most prolific science fiction writers. And are you familiar with Isaac Asimov?
A title? I go for more for titles than authors.
Okay. So Isaac Asimov is probably the father of robotics.
Okay. No.
And he's the one that, if I'm not confusing the authors, he's the one that came up with the 3 rules of robotics. But this one also, this one was from the free book thing at C2E2. And obviously this one intrigued me because this guy kind of looks familiar.
Of course.
But
Willow!
Science fiction, fantasy. one more look at the cat head with the astronauts. I don't know
That's
what
so
that's all
awesome.
about. I'll have to read that and then report back.
Oh, we got book reports, eh?
The
Love it.
Science Fiction Outreach Project is
Nice.
the booth that they had, and I mean, we were just walking past, and the entire thing was like a library. And the young lady says, "Do you guys want free books?" We're like, "Sign me up."
That is super sweet.
Yeah. So we'll
Let's
be
see.
doing.
Science fiction books. Even though I like the genre in movies, I haven't actually read too many. So I've read, for example, Ender's Game.
Okay.
Really like that game.
Yeah.
Really like that one.
Yeah.
What else? No, I have my Goodreads. My Goodreads for me is like my database of everything that I have read. I have to share that with Nicole. Nicole,
Yeah.
I'm gonna DM you my Goodreads because that's where I keep all my books that I've read and reading and want to read. So, um,
That's cool.
so yes, I've read that one. What other science fiction? I know that I've read some, but I can't remember the titles. But anyway, I saw part of the movie, but I enjoyed the book of Ender's Game. It was really good. It
Yeah.
was a very fast read though. Oh, Ahsoka Tano. There you go. Ahsoka, the book Ahsoka. That was amazing. I loved that book.
Was that the one with? I did read that. I actually I bought the book, but I also paid for the audio version,
Okay.
which was read by Ashley Eckstein. So she read the book to me.
Wow. Nice. That
Nice
must have been
surprise.
special. That must
Yeah.
have been something special. Yeah. Um.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
So okay. Oh, and it's JM the Elite Fan. Good evening, Maria and Ro. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for coming by. So that one, and I
Tara
read. Yes, go
Tara
ahead.
Cr- Tara Crystal says
Crystal.
Isaac Asimov also inspired the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yes. I
I didn't.
Robot. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of inspirational things that come from obviously the books.
Mhm.
And Blade Runner was inspired by the book Do Electric Sheep Dream of No, do somebody help me out in the chat. Something about electric sheep dreaming. And that's basically the story of Blade Runner.
Like electric sheep, like in ba 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 black sheep sheep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is the name of the book that Blade Runner is inspired by. I just remembered.
Nice.
But obviously, if you know the plot of Blade Runner,
Mhm.
it'll give you an idea of like the book and what it was talking about.
Hmm.
But like I said,
Yes.
there are so many. I get so overwhelmed when I go to a bookstore. I can spend Nicole and I can probably spend a whole day just chilling at a bookstore. They're really fantastic.
Oh gosh, don't get me near a used bookstore because I will go
There
rampant
are
and it.
so many in Chicago that are hidden,
Ah.
like little alleyways, and then you go in there, and then there's like a coffee shop, and then a used bookstore. It's amazing.
Ah.
See if you can find one of those in Boston when you're there.
Yes. No, no, I don't want to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
A whole day and a whole paycheck. Yes. Used bookstores are like, oh, they're my downfall. No,
Yeah. Bad news, bad news.
very bad news.
The Final Cut is on Netflix. That should do that for my
Mhm.
YouTube channel. Um, yeah, I've got the Blu-ray of Blade Runner has like what 5 different cuts on it, like the director's cut, the theatrical
Wow.
cut, the it's it was
Wow.
a little bit of a mess, but good stuff. And obviously, Harrison Ford is always a
Oh,
treat to watch on screen.
absolutely. He absolutely is. Tara Crystal has his movie robot channel where he does very small, and that's I really like that. They're kind of a nutshell, um, very small reviews of the movie he watches, and he either recommends or doesn't. I gave him a few movies that he watched, so I that's a really nice it's a really nice channel. So you go check out
Cool.
there.
If you're
Logic.
on Twitter, DM me your channel. I'd love to. Oh, there it is. All right, I'll check
There.
it
Oh
out.
yeah. Oh, he's fast. Terra Crystal's fast. There's a Logic Spark. Wow, the first Blade Runner was released 8 days after I was born. Goodness me. I don't even know when that was. I'm sorry. My pop culture. Um,
What is that? 1982, I think.
82? Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet, so I don't remember.
Someone can correct me. I could look it up because we're on the internet, you know.
It's true. It is very true. Your Sarlacc is nice, eh? Really nice. It's coming along
What
very nicely.
What is the audio that we're listening to tonight?
Ooh, so this one is called just Arnor. And I got it from Chosic, which is a free music, free copyright. So the artists put there, and you have you can use it for streams or for whatever you need. And I just kind of try to find things that are kind of like chill, so that people can
Mm-hmm.
like wind down after a hard day's work and not a very very good day. I didn't have a good day myself, so that was very. I was just kind of looking forward to this stream tonight. It was like I'm just done. It was 9 o'clock, and I'm like I'm done for the day. It's like I don't want to be here anymore.
For sure.
And at the office, it's hilarious because so I'm working right now like a day job. It's not in. I'm very much like I'm basically a receptionist. So
Mm-hmm.
and a financial company. I have no background whatsoever in finance, but I needed a job and I found a job basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I needed to pay the bills. The bills are being paid, and I have to, buy myself some art supplies, and I can't do that uh,
Are
without
you
the
w- are you,
moolah.
are you way up north?
Yes, I'm way up north.
Okay.
Yeah, so so it's kind of funny because people there. I've been working there for 2 years, almost 3 years now, and people are just starting to like get to know me in a sense that what I do. So
Oh.
today, one of my colleagues was like, "Hey, so how's it going?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's great because today's Thursday. Today's my happy day." He's like, "Really? Why?" He's like, "Oh, because I have a live stream tonight." And he's like, "You live stream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've live streamed for many years now." He's like,
I sh-
"Oh, wow."
they're like, you live stream? Yes. I show my feet.
Yes.
Not that kind of live stream.
I should have said that. That would have
That would have
mind
been,
boggled.
you know, break the ice. Yeah.
But it's hilarious because now people are getting like into my stuff. Some of them take it as a oh yeah, you do that kind of stuff, right? Now we work, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you do, but I live stream. And other people are like, that is just so awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So so he's like, hey, so what do you stream? And I'm like, well, I stream art, and then I'm streaming gaming actually on a new channel that I'm starting off. And he's like, I think I'll drop by your stream. I didn't know this about you. And I'm like, oh, you know very little about me, and you will get to know me more.
That's cool.
But but yeah, so it's so people are very surprised when I tell them that I stream and I do art. Well, the art part they know, but the streaming part they had no idea. You think it's the coolest thing?
It is.
It is. Exactly.
It is so cool. I had somebody over the other day and just wanted to see my Star Wars room. And obviously, in the middle of the room, I've got your crocheted Ahsoka.
Oh.
And they were so jealous.
That is literally one of a kind.
Yeah, yeah. So wonderful. And I think it's when I interviewed you and I featured the piece you did. I think it's still on my YouTube channel. So go check it out,
Really?
everybody.
Nice. I love
This is
that.
kind of like when I first met you, and I'm like, "Hey, you're a cool artist."
You saw that Ahsoka Tano.
Oh my God, I pounced. I'm like, dude, I want that. Where are you? How much is it going to cost to ship it?
I remember this.
I'm like, whatever, I want it.
Okay, I think I'm done. I'm done my Count Dooku bookmark.
Very nice.
Just gonna leave it.
Later on, I think I might add some color to this.
Hey, that'd be cool.
I will post it later.
Nice. Oh, we have a new person in the chat, Charles Westcott. Nice to see you.
Wonderful nice Charles Westcott from the Conversations podcast. If you love silly talking Star Wars and wonderful discussions, look for Conversations wherever you find your other favorite podcast.
Nice.
They are proud founding members of the Red 5 Network.
That was a sweet plug.
Hey, I gotta plug my peeps, man.
That is so good. You do that. You do that. Here, the more the merrier, like you said. The more the merrier.
But it's it's a wonderful community. It's I don't think none of us got into podcasting to get rich. We just love talking about all this geek stuff and hanging out and drawing and all that other stuff.
There it is. And all the stuff, all the links are in the description down below. You can find all the good stuff of the Red 5 Network down there. At one point, I was also part of the Red 5 Network when I was streaming with R2 the Icky and Jay. I was saying JT Gunther, but it's that cap. The cap.
Yeah. Every time I put my coffee down, I think of him.
There he is.
On my coaster here.
There you go. So I was part of the After the Weekend crew, and that was part of the Red 5 Network, and that was good times, wonderful times.
Always good times.
So I was gonna say, okay, this. I don't know if this can be considered as opening a can of worms, but the new Andor show is gonna come out
April 22nd.
How do you feel about that?
For me, Andor is the best thing that Disney has done for Star Wars.
Bravo. Well,
it is so well written, so well acted. I'm really glad that they're not using the volume, because sometimes your eyes can tell that they're using the volume. The volume was heavily used, obviously, in The Mandalorian, which was, it was great new technology because they were able to, do a lot of stuff. But I think they started to overuse it in Kenobi, in Book of Boba Fett, and something about the special effects looked a little weird. And I think our eyes started to get used to it. But the fact that Andor doesn't use the volume and does, shoots more traditional is great, because you can really tell the production value in Andor is off the frickin' charts.
Nice.
Is that what you're looking for?
I was looking for that. I was
Yeah.
just looking for that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Satisfied me.
and I know not every Star Wars show has to be dark and moody. The Skeleton Crew,
Hmm.
I went in there just to see what it's like, but my podcast host Brad and I,
Hmm.
at the end of the series, we realized that we something about that show just really we really enjoyed it. It was light, it was fun. The scripts were great, the story was good, and the kid actors were
Oh,
fantastic. They were really good.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I remember that you were excited for the Acolyte.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it was no. I you know what? I do feel pain when a show does so badly because I
sure.
know that the actors and the actresses, regardless of what of how they feel, they do put their effort in it, and the production team and behind, like there's so many people behind it, and unfortunately, bad directing or bad scripting just kind of wastes away so much talent.
Absolutely. That's how I felt about Willow. I think Willow, again, I wanted to really love it because I loved the movie originally.
Oof, I love the movie as well.
And, the actors were fine. It's just that the scripts were just god awful.
Yep, and it really does pain me because yeah, I mean, um, like there's so much effort, and it's not just the actors, and it also kind of ticks me off when actors, go about ranting or things like that, and it's like it's not just you, okay? It's not only about you. There's so many people in the behind the scenes that you know deserve the respect, and you're not helping. So
Right. Yeah.
I was actually starting my. I tried to put my foot in, but it literally got stuck, and I had to pull it out for the production area of theater because I just loved it. Uh, the whole the area of audio and the props and paints and costume designs. It's just I put on several theater productions, and I just loved the backstage more than the acting. Um, as a person, and to see all the effort that was behind, it was like wow, I love this, and this really needs to shine. Unfortunately, in bad shows, the production team just kind of goes flat because you know of other people's decisions. And it's like not their
Sure.
fault.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, having worked on many behind the scenes projects, it's never the people behind the scenes as far as the putting the people putting the lights together or the set
Mm-hmm.
design and all that stuff. I mean, they all work like super hard whether the show
Mm-hmm.
sucks or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, when it comes to big productions like, Star Wars and all that stuff, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you really do have to start with a really good script and then just go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Agree.
and unfortunately, a lot of the times that's not the case and things kind of fall flat. And
Hmm.
and audiences nowadays they can tell. I mean, you can't
Yes,
pull one over on audiences and expect them to keep coming back to your shows. You gotta put up or shut up.
it's true. You really nowadays, and people are so versed in things like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings that it's like you really got to know your stuff before you jump into it, because you can't just give them anything. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And it's such a beloved franchise that it's amazing because people like you or I also it's like I want them to succeed.
Of,
I
of
want good
course.
shows.
Yeah.
I don't want to expect like the worst because it's like, no, why? I'm watching the show because I want it to be good.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, I mean, I wanted to really enjoy Acolyte. I really wanted to
Hmm.
love it. And for me, I love serious dark stories. I
Yeah.
love the drama and the gravitas that the stories kind of when they play out that way. I love it.
Hmm.
And obviously the Acolyte had a bit of that promise, and
Hmm.
some of the trailers are like, oh, this looks pretty good, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, obviously,
It didn't pull
we
through.
know what happened.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but okay. Um, I have to say that Disney did do very well in one of my favorite movies, which is Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
I can never say it enough. I love Rogue One. Um,
I think for me, after The Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One is definitely in my top five.
it's I don't know. It was every time I see it, I moved at the end, and it's just a viable story of how things came to be for episode number four. It's regardless of. I mean, I do get a little bit of hate here and there because I do like the prequels. I personally did like Christian Haydenson. Or, how does Christian? No,
Chris,
Christensen. Hayden Christensen.
Hayden, yeah, yeah,
Hayden Christensen's on the other side. I did like him because, and they say he's whiny. It's like, well, that's the whole point because he's maturing
sure, yeah, yeah.
for me. But that's me. But anyway, um,
Yeah,
the
the prequels definitely have charm. And I'll ask you a question. Do you feel like, so obviously, in the 90s when the prequels came out, I mean,
mhm,
everybody was saying, that the prequels are crap, and Star Wars, George Lucas ruined my childhood, and, all that stuff that was going on during the prequels, and people
mhm,
really did not like the prequels at the time.
mhm,
D- Um, Obviously, with the Clone Wars that came out, it kind of softened people's
mhm,
opinions on the prequels. We obviously have a lot more material now than what was happening before.
mhm, mhm.
Do you feel like the sequels will get the same treatment maybe another 20 years from now? Are people going to discover that the sequels weren't as bad as we thought?
I think not. Personally,
Hashtag asking for a friend.
asking for a okay. So personally, this is my personal opinion, and I respect everyone else's. I don't think that's going to happen, and here's my reason why. The first one, everybody liked it, but in the end, it was just another A New Hope, but with a female character. Um, it was basically the same thing. And also the fact that if you analyze the character um, of Ray, everything just was super easy for her in a sense that it was very, very intuitive. Whereas you had building up, you have the Luke Skywalker and the prequels in this case, you we already knew that Darth Vader was the chosen one, quote unquote chosen one. So he did have a head start. Whereas in Ray Palpatine or Ray Skywalker, however you guys want to call her, I really don't mind. Um, you don't have that. So in that sense, it's one thing. And then the second thing was in the Last Jedi. Um, the way that they treated the character of Luke Skywalker, even the actor was like, "This is not Luke," right? Regardless of what people like, what he said, they treated the character in as as it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been like that. So I personally don't think that it's going to soften in a sense that people are not going to talk about it, but I don't think people are going to actually like the story. Now, mind you, I do have a very, very good friend who loves The Last Jedi. So much so that he says it's the best Star Wars movie that he's ever seen.
Wow,
I know, that's a bold statement.
it is.
So, but then again, he is a very, very big fan of Ryan Johnson in general. He loves his movies.
Oh,
So I'm like, okay, man. I mean, you do you. Don't tell me. Don't.
can you feel my eye twitching?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is that, there's so much Star Wars out there now.
Mm-hmm.
before we just had three movies,
Mm-hmm.
and then George made three more, and
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Never in a million years did we think that we were going to get so much Star Wars. Um, the the bottom line, I think, is that nowadays there is a Star Wars for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many entry points into the franchise,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I think, I always ask myself this question: do I feel like maybe George Lucas should not have sold Star Wars to Disney and then just have it die with him, and that's it? And all we have are the six movies and whatever comic books that came out, or as a fan, is it better to have been sold to Disney so we get more Star Wars? And obviously we just talked about Andor and Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't sell it to Disney, we wouldn't have those projects.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we have all the other stuff that is kind of a little bit on the mediocre side. So
Yes.
um, I'm not a fan of the sequels per se. I enjoyed The Force Awakens for what it was. The hype leading up to that film was so massive,
Yes.
which we probably won't get hype like that, again for another film. But
Mm-hmm.
you're right; it has a lot of derivative tropes to A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my favorite of the sequels. Now, I have very strong feelings against The Last Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those movies that I never went back, and it's actually one of the nine Star Wars movies that I never bought on disc or physical media. I cannot do it, and for the reasons that you said. But I'm not a fan of Ryan Johnson for one major reason. When he insulted fans that didn't like his movie, and
Mm-hmm.
he was so uppity
Mm-hmm.
about doing this story that Luke Skywalker has to find himself and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, that was already done in the original trilogy. Luke Skywalker failed and he found himself and he redeemed his father, and we don't need to see that trope again. He did it already. So when he started going around interviews and saying that that we just us fans didn't understand The Last Jedi and what he was trying to portray, you know
Mm-hmm.
I just say
Okay.
to you, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. Yes, it's true, and it's a really good question because you would say a lot of people were very happy when George Lucas sold it to Disney. It's just that they didn't see that all of this was going to happen. And yes, Ryan Johnson did say that his what he considers a success in his film is that if he divides the fandom in two, people who really like it or people who really hate it. And I don't think that's how you should treat
No, not at
fans,
all.
you know,
Or your work.
or your work. Yeah.
You want as many people to enjoy it, as
Mm-hmm.
many people to see it. And I you're right. I don't get this pretentious thought of it's successful if half of the people hate it and half love it. I don't understand that logic at all.
You got me. It's like riddle me this, Batman. It's like because I don't understand it. Well, here Megatron says the main reason why because it stopped being Star Wars and it's destructed the main three heroes of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Hmm?
And I still don't understand why. I mean, I think they did it because they had no other. George obviously had his ideas on what
Hmm.
to do. Disney threw those concepts out, and then
Hmm.
just and here's the thing. I understand it from a business standpoint. They just spent
Hmm.
almost $4.5 billion. So
That's
you don't
crazy.
you don't want to risk telling a story that might not resonate. And they thought, especially with The Force Awakens, they thought, let's just kind of cut the movie from the same cloth as the original film and try to catch lightning in a bottle.
Hmm.
Secret plans are hidden in a droid. In both The Force Awakens
Hmm.
and A New Hope. So yeah, from a business standpoint, I kind of understand like why they didn't want to risk it, but
Hmm.
then again, they risked it, during the Last Jedi. So I don't understand the logic there either.
Hmm. I guess people were kind of like, oh, is this what they're going to give us? Maybe they should give us something different. And then, but I think they trusted the wrong person for it. They they shouldn't have. I personally think that they shouldn't have, side put aside George Lucas completely,
No,
because
and I actually wish George Lucas probably. I wish George Lucas would have finished 7, 8, and 9 on his own and then sold
Mhm,
it. But
mhm,
I understand. Again, George Lucas is. If you don't like his directing or writing,
mm,
he's a brilliant businessman when
mm,
it comes to selling his own property. I
mhm.
mean, you look at every YouTuber out there, and in their background, you've got Star Wars toys and collectibles.
Yeah.
Well, it's people like that that build the empire, because we bought all the stuff. We
Yes.
we gave George all the money to be able
Yes.
to do the movies his way.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that I regret regarding the sale, is that I just wish that George just finished it on his own, hell or high water. If people didn't like his ideas about midichlorians and the macroscopic world of the Force, the bottom line is he's the creator. He should have finished the stories on his own, no matter what.
I think I agree with that. Let's see. Megatron says no, that no, sorry, this one here. Phantom Menace. Lucas was trying too hard to show off the CGI. Then he realized he needed to show off more Obi-Wan and Anakin than CGI aliens. That's true. The prequels weren't perfect, but they never fundamentally destroyed its universe as it was still Star Wars.
That's true. And I'm going to agree with, let me see, where do you have that? Let's down. I'm looking
Which
for
one?
Phantom Menace. Lucas was trying too hard to show off the CG.
Ah,
Tara Crystal. So yes, I agree with you there, but I will also say I specifically am a fan of movie technology, and I think what George has done for cinema and filmmakers is unprecedented. The invention of nonlinear editing, the special effects, the digital photography. He didn't want to shoot on film anymore. So all those things, CGI characters, all those things, thank you very much to George Lucas. And I know, some people have a problem with the prequels because of its overabundance of CGI, but I think without that, the rest of the universe, when it comes to digital filmmaking, wouldn't have be as popular as it is now.
hmm.
And I think George created some amazing tools that help creatives, craft their projects in movies, film, television. And I think we can't discount or fail to give George Lucas that credit.
Hmm.
Although again, yes, were the prequels too CGI heavy? Um, yes, but I think I cut him slack because, like I said earlier, he's the one that created this entire universe, and I'll give him credit all day long for that.
Hmm. That I can. I agree with that also. Let's see here. Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney and then appointed Kathleen Kennedy to keep up his planned story. But then they threw well, we know this, yeah, and unfortunately, it's true. Kathleen Kennedy was given keys. Um, and Megatron says, I don't have an issue with them retreating similar story cues from the original because George Lucas himself added the cues in the prequels that echoed the edge of. The problem is the treatment of the original characters as well as them completely throwing out established continuity from Legends and from the Legends novels.
Yeah, I don't think the Legends novels had continuity. That's why they were never
They were never
canon.
canon, yeah.
And George obviously supervised a lot of that stuff, but if I were to create something and have other authors create stories within that universe, I don't blame him for him saying that those are stories that happen, but my stories are the more important ones.
Hmm. Well, here and it continues as the Rocky films, for example, have lots of the same sort of story and character development cues and themes that carry throughout. But it works because the main character doesn't regress.
Yes.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, and the Last Jedi, I mean, the biggest character in Star Wars regressed to a point where we as fans were like, "What the hell? What who is this guy?"
And yeah, that's the problem. You see, and I believe that there was two characters that have been they should have been given a story of their own, and and one of them is Finn. So I thought it was a really interesting concept of a rogue stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper, yeah.
That is, and he was wielding a lightsaber, giving the cue that, oh my gosh, this guy was going to be boom,
Yeah, the Force awakened in him.
Yeah, and that would have been really interesting because you have like a stormtrooper, so somebody from the Empire, who knows the ins and outs, and is completely changing. And they pushed him to the side as a
janitor,
and also like comic relief.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you got to take this guy seriously, So that's one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Rose Tico, actually, I would have liked a different treatment of that character as well. You have an engineer who I think wants. I don't remember if she wanted like revenge for her sister or wanted to find her sister or something like that. But it was like, hey, what? Why did you treat her like this? She was also part of a comic relief that, it's like you had two characters that could have had so much potential.
Paige Tico, though, was the better Tico. Even in the 5-second scene that she's in,
yeah,
she was so good, the actress. But yeah, it's too bad because I feel like between JJ, who directed 7 and 9, and Ryan Johnson, who directed the middle one, I mean, to a lot of people, and if you don't see it, you're blind. But to a lot of people, it was a pissing contest between directors.
Yeah, because I remember that JJ set the premise for number 7, and then Ryan Johnson said, no, I want to do my own thing. Yeah. And then at the end of number 7, he had a kid who used the Force to pick up a broom. I remember that so clearly because I was like, okay, fine. This guy is leading me to this. And
Broom
then,
boy.
Yeah, it's true. It's Broom Boy. And then I'm sorry, I didn't see number 9. But I'm pretty sure that kid was just disregarded as a spare. So it's like, no.
Yeah. Good old Broom Boy.
So here's Wes. Hello, Wes. Thank you so much for coming. And he says, a rogue stormtrooper was such a good concept. He should have been a main character in my... Yeah. And let's not forget the China posters. Unfortunately, yeah, I remember that. And yes, Nicole said, I like Rose Tico. I wanted good things for that character.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate that that they did what they did for the China market. But again, it's we have to understand that movies are a business.
Yes.
They are less art and more business. There are artists behind the scenes that are doing their craft, but at the end of the day, these movies exist to sell a ticket. So, I'm not excusing what they did for China, but I understand it. Yeah.
It's true. But we did get some good Star Wars, like The Mandalorian season 1 and season 2. We got to say, it's like, and when season 2 came out, and everybody, that was glorious. Everybody was just bawling, crying. It was like they finally saw what they were looking for. You had great characters, and you had some good premise for a next season and for spin-offs. Now, I personally didn't didn't dislike Ahsoka. Like the Ahsoka show, I thought it wasn't great, but I thought it was good. And obviously, Hayden Christensen is in it, so I'm like totally
Yeah,
biased.
sure, sure. No, it's got some good stuff in there. It wasn't perfect per se. I think my only problem with the show overall was the pacing
Uh
of the
huh.
story. It just felt
Yes.
like, 8 episodes could have been 4 episodes easily. Every time
Yes.
they did something, it was like, you know, 3 steps forward and 4 steps back. It was, get to Peridia already. Once you're there, it took them forever to get to this other.
It's true, and that's the thing. It's like I said, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I did enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Um, I've yet to see. I haven't seen. This one is Tales of the Jedi.
Oh, the animated. Star Wars works so well in animation, and I think even during the last season of The Mandalorian, when Bad Batch was on as well, I
Uh
was
huh.
enjoying I was enjoying Bad Batch more so than The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, Bad Batch is a good show, and it has good stories, and it has interesting characters. Yeah, I think it's a great show. So.
And Tales of the whole Tales of series are
Mhm.
really great. Um, Tales of the Jedi was good. What was the other one? Oh, Visions was spectacular. The second season of Visions
I haven't seen
was
that.
was so good.
Oh gosh, I got it. This is just like my Goodreads list. This is just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's a must. Yeah, Visions is a must see for me. The first story called The Sith or Sith Lord is
Mhm.
really great. But it's a really great concept because Lucasfilm, went out to different animation studios around the world and said, "Would you
Mhm.
guys like to tell a Star Wars story in the style of your animation?" And there were a
Nice.
lot of studios that said, "Hell yeah!"
Of course. I
and
mean, who wouldn't?
and they came up with some really interesting stuff. I think there's one that was done by an Indian animation studio,
Wow,
and that one is probably my favorite.
that's awesome. Okay,
They're
no, now I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Gotta find it. Where is it? Where's it streaming? I'm sorry, I have
Yeah,
no
it's
idea.
I think it's still on Disney Plus.
Okay,
I don't know if anybody in your chat has seen the Visions animated series,
chat, please tell me.
but it's really good.
Um, so it says Wes says, in my opinion, Andor one wasn't bad. Season one wasn't bad, and then I mean, I
I'm
guess.
doing a rewatch of it, and I'm liking it a lot more. And obviously, it's kind of a little bit of a slow burn,
Hmm.
but again, it reminds me of why I love Andor because of the production style, the acting, the quality. It's just you don't see that in
Hmm.
in Star Wars lately.
And then also, you're also watching Daredevil, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
You're liking that?
Daredevil on the Disney aspect of Daredevil. Yeah, it's not bad. It's good. There's a couple things that I'm not too crazy about,
Hmm.
but it's not like horrible.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that that's my standard.
Hmm.
Not horrible, because I do talk about the horrible stuff. So this is not one of them.
Okay, that's good. I have to say that the Netflix series of Daredevil is possibly
Superb.
it's a gem. No, it's really stunning. It's so well done.
Did you watch all of the Marvel Netflix shows?
No, I know I couldn't watch them all, both time wise, and I think some of them was just like I can't watch this. Like for example, She Hulk, and I was like, no, no, not my thing. Sorry, bud.
What about
Same.
Jessica Jones, The Defenders,
No,
Iron Fist?
no,
Yeah,
not even
Jessica.
Agatha. Not even Agatha. All along.
Yeah, I think I only watched 1 or 2 episodes of Agatha. I didn't like her in the Wanda show. I wasn't going to watch a series about her.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, but I enjoyed Jessica Jones. I thought that was kind of cool and different. The weakest of the bunch was the Iron Fist show.
Okay.
Really bad.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. But David Tennant is fantastic in the second season of the Jessica Jones show.
Okay.
Your chat might know him as the Ninth Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Really good actor. How you doing with spelling?
Oh, okay. So now I'm just like dedicating to the shading part, which is actually what's giving it life. So my hand was absolutely um, dead. It was kind of flat, and with the shading that I've done with the watercolor, it has just brought it to life.
Very
It's
nice.
oof.
So
So
you're using watercolors on such a tiny little area. That's amazing.
yeah. So Tara Crystal, who's in the chat, so wonderful, got me. I know I sound far away because I actually am far away. So he got me. He got me these. So these are special bookmark pad, watercolor bookmark pads. He got me two of
Oh.
these.
You know,
So
I've been looking for sketch card pads like that because I want to do some sketch like trading
I got you.
cards with
I
those.
got your back. I got your back. So this was also thanks to Tara Crystal,
Oh,
who said
nice.
no more using your expensive paper because I started cutting up paper. So
Oh,
here are Bristol artist trading cards, and I did this one here on the trading cards. So you can get these on Amazon, and they're pretty cheap. They're like $5 or $6.
oh, nice. I'm gonna get them
And
for sure.
so these are for drawing with pencil, ink, acid-free pen. So they're mixed media. I need to. This one is going to be a test run. This Nightcrawler is going to be a test run for my Copic alcohol markers. So I love alcohol markers. I have just fallen in love with them. They are my third favorite medium. So it's watercolor, ink, and Copic markers are my three like preferred mediums. And I did
Nice.
these two sketch cards with them. So I cut
Oh,
these up.
nice.
You know, so they just pop up. So this one is ink and Copic marker, and this one here is completely mixed media because I have Copic marker, I have ink, I have pencil crayons, and I have Posca acrylic markers. So Posca acrylic markers are markers that are based on acrylic paint, and you can put that onto your to brighten up the some areas. So this is probably one of my best pieces yet, Ghostwriter. I'm extremely happy with the result. So, but the little thing is that the Copic markers are alcohol, so they do pass
Oh,
through.
yeah.
These are not this one here. I haven't tried it with this one. I've just cut up my mixed media paper and said I want to make sketch cards, and I just cut them up. So yeah,
That's cool. I'm gonna get a couple of those.
yeah, no, and they're just so sweet, and these watercolor paper, it's just like it's so refreshing to work with such great material. So yeah. It's you can find it on my wish list. I mean, not that you have to purchase it for me, but you can find it there so that you can see what I use, and
Cool. Yeah.
so absolutely, So anyway, yeah, Tara Crystal says, yeah, I love Jessica Jones. She didn't have she didn't like having superpowers, no, so it was a new spin. Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
No, Wes says I forgot Iron Fist existed, probably for
Sorry to remind you.
I was gonna say it's like for good reasons probably, but unfortunately. And oh wow, that's cool. Bookmark. Oh yeah. So so yeah, oh we are coming up to we are over the hour and a half. This is amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
I just started. Feels like it just started.
we are well, it's 9 o'clock on my end of the world. It's probably 8 o'clock at yours.
Yep.
So
That's perfect timing. My wife just texted me.
so yeah, wow, you really let me just pull this up your Sarlacc. That is sick. That is so sick.
I think I'm gonna look for my colored pencils and maybe add some color to it and then post it later in the
Nice.
week.
That
But
is very nice, huh? Congratulations.
thank you. I guess, and then now I'll put this book away and then take it out in a couple of years. Again.
No, I'll
But
invite you to
no,
another stream for that then.
yeah, that'd be great.
So
Anytime.
yeah,
This is a lot of fun.
yeah, isn't it chillaxing? It's like so relaxing. Like, no, just forget about the world. We'll talk some good stuff, talk some positive stuff. We can talk about a little bit of the horrible, but it's overall a positive stream. So I got my two that I finished my Count Dooku. Yes, I finished him.
Very nice.
And then I still have to finish my Spawn, but it's getting there slowly.
What are you planning on for the background of Spawn?
I don't know. So this is the cover that I'm
Oh, okay.
using. So I may do a little bit like of a greenish
Mm-hmm.
something. I don't know yet. I haven't
Cool.
decided.
All right.
So tell everybody what you're up to before we hit the end stream button.
Well, I'm definitely going to read this book just to see what this cat is doing here with the astronauts. But
I love the cat.
absolutely, no. We do live shows on Saturdays on YouTube, but only when there's something to talk about. I'm not a regular YouTuber, so if we have like a review or if we actually have something specific to talk about, we'll hang in the YouTube for on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. But I do obviously an audio podcast with
Mm-hmm.
friends, and
Mm-hmm.
we get together and talk, Star Wars, and a little from column A and a little from column B.
B.
And if you're interested in hearing some of the topics that we have on the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast, just look for us wherever you find your other favorite podcasts. And we've got quite a variety of topics, from talking about what makes an effective bad guy to force lore.
Nice.
We get really deep into discussions. One of my favorite, more recent ones is, I have a friend who is a clinical psychologist, and we invited him and we talked about Anakin Skywalker and the four pillars of the dark side
Nice.
when it comes to personality. We kind of picked that apart, and that was a really, really good one. So,
Oh, I gotta listen to that. So I listen to you when I'm doing some like humdrum administrative work. I just pop on my Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast and I just listen away because it's just so relaxed. It's so good and it's so deep. You got your
very
deep
nice.
dives.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
It's awesome. And then what do I have coming up? Well, tomorrow at 8 p.m., I'm going to be streaming over on Kick some Zelda Link to the Past because I got to one of the bosses, and I need to crush him. I haven't been able to during the week, so I will do so on the weekend. And I will probably be streaming a little bit more on Saturday. I'm not sure if here on YouTube or over on Kick. I have yet to decide, but I'm going to be doing some 3D sculpting. I'm going to be
Oh,
doing my
wow.
donut, yeah, on Blender. So I'm really excited for that. So it's probably going to be on Saturday morning-ish.
Really nice.
Yeah. And if not, you can always find me down in the description below. You can see all my links, all my stuff. You can go follow me over on the Twix. Obviously, Instagram is right there. That's my art portfolio. You can see all my stuff there. And always on Thursday, 7:30 Eastern time, we have Art and Tales. So, and next week is going to be full. It's going to be amazing. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Yeah. Got a lot of stuff to do. I never thought I would be streaming so much, but you know what? I love it.
It's relaxing, isn't it? It's, I mean, we do this. It's very therapeutic. That's exactly the word I was going to use. Very therapeutic. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, thank you so much, Ro, for streaming with me. I had a very awesome chat. That was amazing conversation. Thank you so much. You're going to be getting another invite from me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing me on. It was nothing that I thought I would be able to do, but it was definitely a lot of fun, and just talking with you. I know I've kind of popped into your chats from time to time. It's close to my out time at work sometimes, so sometimes I miss it. But it depends on, if we're going live at the news station
of course,
from time to time. But thank you, and thank everybody in the chat. It's been fun to see some familiar faces and some new people that I didn't know. So this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. And have a great evening, everybody. Stay safe. And remember to hit subscribe button if I've and remember the cat. Remember the cat.
I'll give her, like I said, I'll give a report too.
Peace out, everybody.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.